Welcome into the Week 12 waiver live with me and Bobby. Guys, hopefully you guys won your matchups this past week. It's getting close to playoff time. We're starting to run out of time, so hopefully your team is put together. But if not, maybe you need a couple waiver ads. We are here to break down this week who's available, who's being dropped, who's being added to give you guys an advantage before the 2 a.m. waiver window closes. It's going to be a big one. These next 2 weeks are going to be huge. You guys, if you need players, you need to dominate these 2 weeks to go into the playoffs and go into the playoffs strong. You don't want to make the playoffs limping and then just get crushed once you get there. So, Bobby, welcome in, man. We are going to talk these waivers, but also last time we were on, we talked a little bit of that Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. It was exactly like we called it in the video and exactly like my article. So, I mean, we posted everywhere. I think the article had a couple hundred views. It was just the video had a couple hundred views as well. I'm glad that we put out such good information. What did you think of the fight? Like you said, I feel like it was exactly what we expected. Some people are trying to say it's rigged. They're showing like these videos and stuff. I don't think it was rigged. I just think we saw an old Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul that just, unfortunately, is at that stage of his career where I keep seeing these videos too. This is the perfect analogy for where I was going with that. They're showing these 15-year-old Jake Paul versus 15-year-old Mike Tyson. And Jake Paul's like dancing in socks in his like upstairs living room because he grew up rich. And then 15-year-old Mike Tyson, he's in the ring just knocking dudes out. It's like, yeah, that is great. Like one of them looks like a total wimp and the other dude looks super tough. Okay, that's great. Except one was like 13 years ago and the other one was like 40 years ago. You know, like really more than 40. If he's 15 in that video, he's 59, I think he was now. So, 44 years later? The people are posting that video like, oh, look, who's going to win this fight? I'm like, guys, you're missing some huge context there. I wasn't shocked at all. What is your quick breakdown of that fight, man?
Just the same thing. The only people surprised are the new fans that haven't watched boxing in 10
Mm-hmm.
plus years, if not ever watched boxing. They were watching just based off the names, based off the hype, the publicity, all those things that was the whole point of the fight, the hype and the publicity and the payout. It wasn't to put on a pure entertaining boxing spectacle. And so it succeeded perfectly and 100% according to plan based off of that. So, I mean, Mike Tyson almost died 2 months ago when this fight was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was rescheduled. And what do you expect? The guy's coming off a major medical event and just has not fought in God knows how long and looked like a guy his age coming off a long layoff off a medical emergency against a guy who's not better than him in terms of technique and record and blah blah blah, but is younger, faster, stronger, more athletic, and is reaching his prime or already in his prime. So, I mean, it succeeded for both of them. They both got paid millions and millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and most people weren't even able to watch it because of Netflix and the streaming issues, but it still
Right.
succeeded in a wonderful fashion.
And we need to put it into Netflix streaming stuff. Every live event that they have always crashes. It always goes horribly wrong. Like Netflix, they've had multiple chances now. They haven't figured it out. So I'm kind of done with Netflix. Any streaming event that they have going forward, I'm going to set my expectations just bar low. Just no confidence in them anymore, man, after that showing. Uh,
Crazy if they think they're going to be able to do football, though. So,
God, they can't handle it, bro. They've showed
right.
that they can't handle it. It's good point, man. I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't come through. Talking about fantasy football, talking about your article, man. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to throw us into the Week 12 waiver wire ads that we have for you guys. You can find the full article over on bettergreen.com. That's better, BETTOR green.com. Bobby, the first guy you have listed, you have him listed as his position is everything, and that is Mr. Taysom Hill.
Yeah, Taysom Hill that's what he does. He catches the ball, he throws the ball, he runs the ball, he receives the ball. Like anything you can expect Taysom Hill to do for the Saints, he does for the Saints. You can put him in as a QB, you can put him in as a tight end. So in Superflex leagues, he has appeal in that regard. I mean, Obviously, he's not going to put up the 40-plus point game that he just did every single week, but I mean, as a nice, safe floor play with the potential for a huge ceiling game, that's Taysom Hill. That's what he's been for a while now, for at least like the past 2, 3 years. He's been a huge boomer bust type guy. And the Saints will always, just as long as he's healthy, because he was a little unhealthy in the beginning of the season, a little banged up, a little injured, looks to be over that now in fine form. And, the Saints kind of realized that, yeah, they started off really strong in the year, but they've had a lot of shakeups. Dennis Allen's fired. They're probably going to have even more shakeups by the end of the season, especially depending on what the record's looking like if they just squeak by. And they've just been a chronically mismanaged team
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of aging assets and assets like Chris Olave with huge question marks now hanging over their futures. And so who knows what's going to happen? I mean, Taysom Hill himself is 34 and got a lot of wear and tear and age on him. And they've been kicking that cap can down the road too long. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as of right now and redraft and just for playoff pushes, I'm willing to take Taysom Hill if he's available.
One of those guys you could throw into that tight end spot. This next guy is also a tight end. It's a guy that I feel like has been kind of slept on. We said that there might be a spot for him in this offense way back before the season even started. Now we're starting to see that kind of come to fruition. That's Jonnu Smith. It's a tight end for the Miami Dolphins. He's just getting a lot of work right now. We're just not seeing that with Tyreek and with Waddle for some reason. And you really can't say like, oh, because it's anything with Tua because okay, Tua's back and like it's been multiple weeks of these guys just not performing now. So there's a reason he's going to Jonnu. And once again, he's probably not going to have these 30-point weeks. But if you're really in desperate need of a tight end, Johnny's one of those guys that's probably out there in a lot of waiver wires that is very gettable.
Yeah, Johnny was a guy I drafted in our 12-teamer. Fortunately, dropped him probably like 2 or 3 weeks into the season, just when he was hot, cold, hot, cold. But yeah, now, I mean, obviously it's too late for me to get him back, but for anybody else out there, yeah, he's got a role. He's going to play it. Once again, don't expect crazy games every single week, but bye weeks, injury fill ins, things of that nature. He's a guy with a pretty safe floor, kind of low ceiling, but can be high as evidenced by last week. So, yeah, Johnny's just a guy who should probably still be available in most 12-team leagues right now. And this is probably the last chance you're going to have to snatch him up before somebody else does. And he's probably going to get held through the rest of the season. And trade deadlines are probably passed already. So if he's already on somebody's roster, unfortunately, you're not getting him unless he is dropped. So
I agree 100%, man. Now your next player is the guy, he took his job. It's Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito, quarterback now for the New York Giants. I don't think, and you're seeing it all over social media right now too, about how the Giants can save cap space. If he just doesn't get hurt, they can just release him at the end of the season. It's exactly what I believe it was. The Broncos did that with Russell Wilson. Yes, Broncos did that with Russell Wilson last season. So they're doing that with Daniel Jones right now. Tommy DeVito is a quarterback likely on waivers that is going to start the rest of the season. So why don't you take Tommy away? I can't argue with you here, especially if you need a quarterback.
yeah, like we play in a 2 QB 12-team league, so even backups have enormous value in leagues that deep that are starting 2 QBs when you got 12 people in the league. So DeVito definitely has value now. Like you said, you pretty much described it perfectly. Daniel Jones is probably going to get held out rest of season. The Giants know the whole season's lost. They're full committed to the rebuild now. If you're watching them on this past off season of Hard Knocks, they were like, we're kind of rebuild, but like the Daniel Jones, this is your last chance, man. Last chance. You got to figure it out. Hot and cold flashes here and there, not enough, obviously, to commit them to Daniel Jones long term. I don't blame them personally. I even say in the article, I think next year they're going to be looking at another top 10 pick in the first round. And if Shadur Sanders is available, I see them and anticipate them going after him heavily. There's already been reports that he's already been scouted heavily by them. Everything that, he pops up at, the New York Giants are there watching them at training camps, at little media events, things of that nature. So DeVito is in redraft leagues, definitely a strong play to finish out the season. Once again, temper your expectations. Last year when he was starting, he put up like 2 20-point games. The rest were nothing really crazy to write home about, but if you're stuck like some people in our 12 team roster and guys who definitely are not going to get a chance to start again, bar something crazy like Jacoby Brissett, for example, because now that they pivoted to Drake May and they're committed to at least getting him some reps. Maybe you had Joe Flacco. It looks like Richardson's back in the mix now, and they're committed to giving him reps. If you had was it Mason Rudolph who was starting for the Titans while
Yeah.
Levis was out?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have him, like DeVito's a way better option than those three guys I can think of off the top of my head right now. So pick him up, just temper your expectations. He's not a long-term solution in Dynasty, so he's an easy drop after the season's over in Dynasty. But as a strategic play, I mean, he had his Linsanity moments. He had his little cult following. I think he'll do the trick in deep leagues.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And if anybody has any questions throughout the show, please just drop them in the comment section. They'll pop up on screen. We'll be able to read them out and give you guys custom advice for your leagues as well. Guys, Bobby has a couple honorable mentions on the website as well on his article. We don't give out the honorable mentions here, but if you do want to read them, they are going to be on bettergreen.com, BETTOR green.com. We also have some promo codes for some of the sports books, like Sleeper, you guys see down in the bottom left-hand corner. If you guys play on Sleeper, it's really easy to do your picks just from the app. Your fantasies on the far left, it's just a button in the middle. You just click picks, take it there. I believe they're matching up to $100 right now. So that's a fantastic deal. You can get that over on the website while you're checking out Bobby's article. But Bobby, we also break down what's going on in the fantasy world outside of just us. Who are the most added players? So let's talk about them. We break them down in two categories. Are they slams or are they scams? These are players that are going off the board. The top 10 kickers and defenses excluded. Top 10 players being added right now according to Sleeper. Let's see. Number one, oh my gosh, playoffs approaching is now on Sleeper. They added it today. 15 days, 4 hours, 44 minutes. Who, buddy? As somebody sitting on the outside looking in, that's stressful. All right. You know what? I'm going to bunch these number one and number two together because we already talked about them. That's 340,000 ads, sorry. Tight end quarterback Taysom Hill, 339.5 thousand ads, Jonnu Smith. So number one and number two off the board. Found them in Bobby's article. People are agreeing. So, yeah, slam for both.
Yep.
Easy. Let's go to number three. That is, wow, big run on tight ends. Another tight end as the third most added player, 289,000 ads. Tight end for the Washington Commanders, Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is back.
Sixth time this season.
Let's just
move on. Just move on.
We've talked about this man so much, dude. Let's see. He had 7 targets, 6 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Okay. Well, he had 8 targets, so he had 1 extra target the week before for 4 catches, 31 yards, no touchdown. So tight end 6 and tight end 22. Basically the same, almost the exact same target share. Looking at the other game too, like 11 targets.
Sake, just keep the man if you have them. Just stop. Just fucking keep them unless you have something better.
Because it's not even like it gets better. I mean, I guess he's got Dallas this week, so if I just want to jump on the crap on Dallas train, but then he's got Tennessee and a bye to start the playoffs. It's like, I don't know. If you're picking up Zach Ertz, you're picking him up just to play this week and hoping that it works out. But that's too scary. At this point of the season, I'm not relying on Zach Ertz in my starting lineup.
Right. Number
4, 263.7 thousand ads, running back for Chicago, Rashawn Johnson. I'm gonna say scam just because, like, yeah, he has been getting a lot more work with Swift. Unfortunately, as a Swift owner, I've hated seeing it. But still, it's like he's had 10 carries twice. He had 10 carries this past week, and before that, 1, 3, and 2. Like, he's just not involved enough in this offense. This offense is struggling a lot with Caleb Williams. So I don't want a guy that's going to be in a committee splitting with DeAndre Swift. You're hoping he gets another 10 carry game for 33 yards. He's running 3.3 yards a rush, -4 yards a rush, 4.33 yards a rush, 3 yards a rush, 1.6, 2.5, 3.7, 3.7. Like, I mean, this dude is not Yeah, like I get if you want a guy that's getting a low amount of carries, you're kind of like the A-Chan effect. Okay, he gets a low amount of carries, but he is running for 7 yards a clip. It's not happening with Rashawn Johnson, so he's a scam to me. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, it's a scam for me. I'd rather have Swift, and if I can't have Swift, I don't want him. There's just not going to be anything he's going to be able to do for you down the stretch. Way too ridiculous to have to rely on him, and just no.
Just no. I like that answer. Number 5, 226.7 thousand ads. Quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Mr. Bo Nix. A little late to the party there, guys.
Yeah, by like weeks and weeks. Like it's not much to say. Like 100% slam. Like it speaks for itself.
Agreed. Agreed. It just keeps getting better. And it's like, well, yeah, he was a rookie. Of course, he's going to keep getting better the more experience he has. So, agreed. Bo Nix, slam. Moving on. Oh, gosh. For real? We're already this gross. Number 6, Nick Westbrook Akine.
You've done this.
174,000 ads.
How many times, old man?
Yeah, it didn't work with DeAndre Hopkins, but it will definitely work with Nick Westbrook Akine.
Right. I'd
It's
rather have Ridley.
it's been a rough year for Ridley. Let's have the guy behind him and the guy that was
Right.
behind Hopkins.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Yeah,
is
he'll have his lucky touchdowns, but Ridley also had a touchdown called back on a very controversial penalty. So,
right? Oh my God, this is so gross. So he's a wide receiver 9 last week, right? He had
yeah,
117 yards and a touchdown. Okay, 117 yards and a touchdown. Without looking, how many catches did he have?
I'm going to say probably 3.
2.
Close.
Bro, if he's not catching 58.5 yards per catch, bro, like looking at this, he's the most catches he's had in a game was 5. The first 4 games of the season, not a single target, and then target in the games after the bye 2, 4, 4, 6, 3, 6. So he's had 2 games with 6 or more targets. One of them was last week where he only got 2 of them. The other one he had 5 for 50 yards and touchdown. So he's wide receiver 21 that week. Other than that, he's 55, 36, 30, 44, and then blanked the other 4 weeks. Not even registered. I what a I don't know who's picking him up, man. That's a scam.
Right. Scam.
All right, let's see. Number 7, I believe. 139.8 thousand ads. Bobby, another guy we constantly talk about. Welcome back, wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, Jerry Jeudy.
Pick them up, put them down. Pick them up, put them down.
Like a crying baby, dude.
Yeah.
Pick him up, put him down. Pick him up, put him down. Except you guys keep dropping him all the weeks when he does good, and then you scramble and pick him up for him just to disappoint you again. This is why you either hold on to him or you just say, I'm not riding this wave, and you just leave him on waivers. What are people
Right.
doing?
Shit or get off the pot. So, slam for me. I got him and started him in our league and almost came back as a result of him.
You did.
And it's like, here we are, you know.
Last 3 weeks, Bobby, 8 targets, 11 targets, 11 targets. Over 70 yards a game. That's fantastic.
Right.
That's fantastic. I don't know who you're getting on waivers like that right now. Let's see. Next, number 8, quarterback, Los Angeles Rams, 111,000 ads, Matthew Stafford. Oh, guys, I get it. I have Stafford. I've dropped him and added him once. But this is a Stafford train, man. 37 points this week. Great. You know, the week I didn't start him was the week he threw 4 touchdowns. He ended as a quarterback 5, I believe. But I started him the week before that when he was quarterback 32. And then I started him the next 2 weeks after that. And he got 21 and 5. And so then I benched him this week and he got 38 points, basically. Quarterback 5 again. It's just, you're not going to have any consistency with Stafford. If you need a quarterback like I do, you kind of have to ride the wave. In a lot of leagues, I don't have an option. He's my starting quarterback every week, no matter what. So if you need a quarterback, I'll say slam. Otherwise, like if you're getting this guy as like a 3rd or 4th, I don't know. I'll say slam. What do you think, Bobby?
I agree. You described it perfectly. If you need a quarterback, slam. If not, Should have get off the pot once again.
Right. All right, number 9, 110,000 ads running back for the Denver Broncos. No, it's not Estime.
Let me
No,
guess.
it's not
Devontae.
Jaleel. It's not Jaleel McLaughlin. Mr. Javante Williams. Yep.
Again. And again. And again.
And again, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Dude, I mean, the dude's good. The dude's good. He just has faced tough teams like Kansas City. They didn't even try against Kansas City, dude. He had 1 attempt for 1 yard, and then 2 catches for 6 yards. And everybody started picking up Estime and those guys. I was like, stop. It's Javante Williams. Everybody else is irrelevant. It's like, okay,
Right.
you should have been holding on to Javante. I don't know how deep you are at wide receiver if you don't have to hold on to him, but against teams like Atlanta that we saw last week, it's like, yeah, of course you can start him. I start him in a lot of my leagues. Las Vegas this week, yeah, you start him. So, yeah, it's slam.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that we're on the same page. This one we might not be. This is Cam Akers, running back for the Minnesota Vikings. 102.8 thousand ads. Oh, this man has hurt me so many times. This is like a abusive ex-boyfriend. He just keeps coming back and just beating the shit out of me, and I'm just like, Cam, I love you. Stop. I don't know, man. He's got a cake matchup like the rest of the season: Chicago, Arizona, Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Green Bay. So it's a little tough there at the end, but leading up to it, it's kind of cake. But I just don't trust Cam. I just don't trust him to finish out the year helping my team. I think if anything, I'll put him in, and he's just gonna lay a dud. And it's a time right now that it's so sensitive. The wins are so crucial. I would just rather leave Cam Akers on the waiver wire. Hopefully, my opponent picks him up and he drops a dud for them.
Yeah, I have him in our 12 team, and I never feel confident starting him, and I haven't started him since I picked him up like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's the best breakdown you can get for Cam Akers.
Right.
Let's talk about the other side of the coin, Bobby. That is the ones that are gone too soon. It's over for them before they can really grace waiver wires or grace our teams with their presence. And number 1, 273.3 thousand drops. Tied in for the Buffalo Bills, Dawson Knox. Everybody picked him up, all worried about Kincaid. I even took a Dawson Knox anytime touchdown prop. That one didn't hit. He had 4 catches for 40 yards. I mean, Dawson Knox has so many years of him just being like a touchdown machine, just a red zone target for Josh Allen. He's got 1 on the year. Yeah, sorry, but Dawson Knox, has been good having you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, at least he didn't blank you if you started him. He gave you 8 points in half PPR, but I mean, he's going on by, and if you don't need him, then who cares?
Right. Number 2, a little surprising, 150.8 thousand drops. Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, this is what I warned you guys about down the stretch, having Russell Wilson when we first talked about how he was the hot added player when he was announced as the starter. If you can sell high, he was a sell candidate on my buy sell trade, and you should have done that because now I mentioned last time we were talking about him on this show, he faces a tough set of defenses for the most part in the most crucial times. He plays Baltimore defense that held him to 2 points. Next week he gets Cleveland. Cleveland's a little porous now, but is that a risk you want to take if you're right there on the bubble? I personally wouldn't be playing them unless I had absolutely no choice. Bengals defense in 13 is not great. 14, he gets Cleveland again. 15, he's really screwed because he gets Philly, whose defense is only getting better, starting to gel more and more. Young players are starting to figure it out. So, okay, playoffs usually start for most people week 14. 14, 15 are playoff weeks. So he's got Cleveland and Philly. Philly's definitely a tough defense. Oh, and guess what? 16 and 17, he plays Baltimore and Kansas City. So right there in the stretch of the 4 playoff games that determine your championship, and whether you even make it to the championship. He has Kansas City, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Cleveland back to back to back to back. If you feel that confident in Russell Wilson, by all means, play on player. But once again, I told you a long time ago to sell as high as Willie Nelson on this dude.
Yes, you did. I'm pretty sure you said exactly like that too.
Yeah,
Yep. So number 2 is Russell Wilson. Number 3, 149.8 thousand drops. Khalil Herbert.
makes sense. He's going on by. He fumbled. Thank God you didn't lose points in week 10 against Baltimore when he fumbled. He just blanked you again. Now he's going on by. I wouldn't want this guy in my most crucial moments of either making it to playoffs or being in playoffs because Chase Brown's the guy to have. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny too because I feel like he's been like one of the most dropped players in back-to-back weeks. So that means there was like some people that still held on, and then this week they're like, "Nah, I'm done." So it's
right.
like to be one of the most dropped players back-to-back. That's pretty impressive, Khalil Herbert. You let a lot of people down that way. Um,
Yes.
let's see. That was 3. Sorry, there's a lot of defenses and kickers that got dropped here. Number 4, Deontay Johnson. 131,000 drops. I mean, I guess I get it. Everybody thought he was gonna like have a good revenge game against Pittsburgh. He has 2 targets for 0 receptions. Since he's got there, what 0 targets, 2 targets, 1 reception for 6 yards, and 2 targets for 0 receptions. Yeah, I think I agree with it. Even though Deontay Johnson's a big name and he's like connected to a really good quarterback, I just think he's like too far down on the pecking order. You got Zay, you got Likely, you got Andrews, you got Henry running the ball, you got Lamar running the ball. A lot of throw into not Gus Edwards. Is it Hill?
Hill for Baltimore,
For
Justice Hill.
yes, I think that's that their little scat back guy. I blanked
Yeah,
on her now.
Justice Hill is the little speedy short fucker for the Ravens behind Henry and
Yeah,
behind Keaton Mitchell. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like between all those guys, I just don't think Deontay is ever gonna have the volume he needs.
No, especially after this Pittsburgh game that everybody was holding out hope would be his revenge game,
Hmm.
and he blanked you. No.
Let's see. Who's next? Number 5, I believe. Ricky Pearsall, 131,000 drops. Hard to argue that one too.
Right. Like, I mean, I've also said this for a few weeks now, and I say it as a disgruntled Debo owner. I want no part of the 49ers if it's not CMC and if it's not Brock Purdy. I've
Yeah.
been saying it for a while. It's just too frustrating. Too
Yeah.
many headaches.
I agree. I agree. So people got that one right. This is the one where I start to have a little pause. So number 6, Mike Gesicki, tight end for Cincinnati. It's like, okay, I know eh, he is slowing down, but he had 2
Right.
back-to-back weeks where he was like tight end 16. But once again, like usually tight end 16 is really bad. He had, let's see, 12 points. 12 points, 73 yards on and 7 catches. That was just a really good tight end week that week because the week he was tight end 5, he had the same amount of receptions. You just had a few extra yards and he was tight end 5. So that's a little misleading. He had 3 tight end 1 week so far. Last week you got blanked. Looks like 2 targets, 0 receptions. That new tight end was starting to come on too. Once again, it could be that it's just because they're on bye this week, but also he's got Pittsburgh, Dallas, Tennessee, Cleveland, Denver to finish the season. I guess I get it. It's not as crazy as I thought, but still, I hope you're dropping somebody good or you're picking up somebody good.
Right. I agree completely.
See the next one, 7, Audric Estime, 108,000 drops. This was just such an overreaction to the Chiefs game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, once again, what do you think he's going to do? I've been saying for a while now he's a way better dynasty ad than a redraft. If you need him in redraft, you're pretty cooked. If
Yeah,
you're picking him up in dynasty, why? You know that he's a solid hold until you figure out the situation with Javante. Do they keep Javante? Do they let Javante go? Whatever. Point is, you need to keep him in Dynasty. Redraft, yeah, you're certainly justified because he's not going to do much for you this year.
Number, I believe this is 8, 107.5 thousand drops. Quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins.
That's
Quarterback
just
14 on the year.
that's just an overreaction to getting spanked by a pretty good defense.
That's exactly what I think. That is exactly what I think. Quarterback 27 last week, okay. 3 weeks before that, 19, 17, 3. Once again, he's on bye, but then he has Chargers, Minnesota, Vegas, Giants, Washington.
Right.
Okay. That, I mean, who is your number 2 then? Like, if even if we're just in like one QB leagues, okay, this guy's your backup. Who's better that you're picking up? And if you're in 2 QB leagues, especially who are you picking up? Like, who else do you have? Do you have 3 elite quarterbacks? I doubt it. I don't get this one at all.
Yeah, I don't either because you're just overreacting. It's that simple. You're overreacting. Everybody has down games. You're gonna drop Lamar Jackson because he only put up 14 against Pittsburgh. Like, come on.
Right. Right. Yep. I'm a loop number 9 and number 10 in together, man. They're both Dallas Cowboys. Jalen Tolbert and Jake Ferguson. Unfortunately, I agree. I think you can drop pretty much all the Cowboys. I get holding on to Rico, but I mean, quarterback included. Cooper Rush has looked terrible. This team's
Yeah.
completely given up. Zeke, Tolbert, Ferguson. Like unless it's dynasty where you're like wanting to keep some of these guys. Like if you can keep, you can keep everybody. You want to keep Tolbert, or you are in a keeper league and you want to keep Ferguson. Like all right, I get that, but redraft. Both these guys are just they're done. The Cowboys are done for the season. These guys are probably not going to be relevant.
Yeah, the only person I'd want on the Cowboys, like you said, dynasty wise, Ferguson, Lamb. That's it.
Yeah.
Redraft. Redraft, I wouldn't drop Lamb. That's a bit ridiculous. He did just put up 14 points. He's the only guy getting play on that team. You got to keep him even in redraft, if nothing else, to prevent somebody else from using them against you. But yeah, Ferguson and Tolbert and redraft, adios.
We blew through this live in record time, Bobby. I don't think we've ever done one this fast. Just for giggles, because you're not gonna believe this, but the number 11 most drop player, 93,000 drops, is the tight end 10 on the season, Tucker Kraft.
Overreactions. Once again, I get that he goose egged a lot of people out there. I understand. But that's just the nature of a Green Bay receiving core right now. It's a carousel. It's a carousel. Just like some, I'm not going to say it. That's a little bit hurtful, but just what do you people want? What do you want? And once again, a simple question. Okay, you've dropped Tucker Kraft. Here's an instructional guide on what to do next besides insert thumb in ass. You dropped Tucker Kraft. Ask yourself, who did I pick up? Ask yourself, am I going to keep that person I picked up for a week, even 2 weeks tops? If the answer is no, slap yourself. If the answer is yes, then fillet yourself.
Fillet yourself. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. He had a 93% snap share, which is just insane to me. It's one of those metrics that I look for, just seeing how much they're on the field because you can't score if you're not on the field. Yeah, and you're looking at his season long. If you're like in a 2 tight end or tight end flex league, he's finished as a tight end 1 or 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times out of 10 weeks. So 60% of the time. And then there's 4 weeks he was tight end 2, tight end 1, tight end 10, and tight end 7. Like, okay. I mean, I don't get it, man. Who are you getting? You're dropping a top 10 tight end. Who are you getting?
But the other guys that I listened to, they gave me advice on my 69-man work league with half PPR nasty girl 69 scoring. told me that I should be concerned about his usage in the pee pee poo poo red zone shotgun formation.
That is true, man. That is true. I'm sorry, we're not those guys. We're not those guys. We're not like not big pharma. We're not big fantasy.
But what's his ass score?
This is ass score.
I don't care about his Raz. I care about his ass score. Some guy just made that shit up.
Yo, I'm gonna get so many hugs at the fantasy football expo this year.
Yeah, I can't wait to go next year because it's gonna be on site. Hopefully, we're making money off this by then. Hopefully, we're making money off this by then to pay for bail. That's all I can say.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, oh
I
my.
have to fund a legal fee.
There's a couple, man. There's a couple out there. Maybe one day we'll start getting a bunch of comments, and they might get us a little loose lipped about some of these folks that we got to meet over in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah. I don't know though. If that happens, I'll just be chilling with a ginger ale on the other side of the screen, just with my mouth shut, just holding it up.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this live, guys. Damn, I don't know what to do to get more comments on here, man.
I don't know. I guess we have to start talking about PP poo poo red zone usage out of the shotgun 69 formation.
I guess. It's
Maybe
like
we'll have to start selling out.
it's just so annoying, man. All year we've been telling everybody like early, like get these guys before it's too late. Then we just see the overreactions later on down the road after we've already been right for weeks. Same with
Yep.
drops.
Yep. But, it's all right, though, because what's happening is, it's helping our teams out
Yeah,
and it's helping out the people that do listen. So as long as there's at least, a few people out there that are listening to this and they're getting something from it, hey, quality versus quantity. So at least those few people out there are definitely getting an edge over their league mates. So,
right, right. When he says quantity, he's talking about how many of us there are because we post so much. We post so much crap out there, and it's just all of it's good,
right,
man. Like that's how you win 8 units on a Jake Paul fight. That's how you win all these MMA.
right,
Like I don't think we've had a losing week in MMA in what over a month and a half.
right. And we do quantity and quality. So
Yes,
who else does that? Who else does a high volume, but every volume of article, video, etc. that comes out is actually also a quality video and not just the same regurgitated, rehashed takes that you're getting from literally everybody else that you listen to with no variety to it. Like, I can't tell you how many big name articles and podcasters and etc. I've come across just today scrolling my Twitter feed, all saying Bo Nix is a league winner. Bo Nix is a league winner. Really easy to say that now.
right.
Really easy to say that now instead of like, when did I pick him up in our dynasty league? Like 4 or 5 weeks
Weeks ago.
ago.
Yeah,
Like when everybody was like down on him and he had just been dropped because he was a rookie quarterback going through rookie quarterback struggles.
I think we talked about him. I think we talked about it on the over too soon segment. Where we were like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Cade Otton.
Kate
I got
Otten.
Cade Otton a week. I got Cade Otton a week before everybody else started fighting over him.
Tucker
Jamison
Kraft
Williams, how
before he
many
went
times did that
crazy.
guy probably get dropped?
Yeah,
Yeah, Tucker Kraft before he went nuts. Russell Wilson, we just talked about. You should have sold high weeks ago when he first came back and put up numbers.
it's the
Warning
same,
you
man.
about the tough stretch of defenses and the heart of your fantasy playoff and championship games.
Yeah. And then also on top of that is we hold each other to a level of accountability that I don't see anywhere else doing. Like every single
No,
analyst at Better and Green gets their score posted every single month for how they did, good or bad.
right,
It doesn't matter. We don't hide any picks, so you get all of
right,
them. I believe we're like over 600 something, almost 700 picks in the last 2 months. So just a stupid high number, and still, I mean, we're like batting. We're not the best better in the world where it's like 57%, but we're between like 55 or is it 53 and 56 maybe? I believe that's like
Yeah,
the
somewhere in there.
the expert range, and then 57 plus is I think is Billy Walters is I believe his name. So we've been hitting that the last 2 weeks with almost 700 bets, which is just insane. And then last night, Noel came out with an article, basketball NBA player props. You can get these on Underdog, which is linked on our website. You can get them at DraftKings, which is linked on our website. You can get them at Rebet, which is linked on our website. I believe you can probably get them on Sleeper. Sleeper doesn't just do fantasy football. They do NBA. They do NFL. They do all these different sports as well. I need to check if they do MMA. You might have to be doing some Sleeper MMA once the season's over. I'll check into that. But all the stuff is free, and I just said, okay, Noel post an article. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to tell every single one of his 3 plays. Bobby, do you know how many hit last night?
How many?
All of them.
Wow,
All of them.
that's incredible.
It's
Yep.
it's it's just what the dude's been doing all MLB season, and now since he started NBA, he's just carried it on, man.
Yeah, and another thing is an American betting league basically like a third party tracker for us now that
Yes,
also holds us accountable.
yes, it is. You're very right.
Yeah, and they have absolutely no incentive to,
Mm-mm.
like I said, vouch for us. They're a neutral third party that we're just, they're tracking our progress and putting us up against what 25 other bettors.
No, they're showing the
And
top 25. It's like 70.
yeah, so out of 70 bettors, the top 25, tell the people right quick before we get out of here what we just came in at.
Number 4, almost 100 units.
Yep, and that is once again American Betting League, which is a third party. They're not like, giving us any type of special deal or whatever. They're just third party tracker for us, holding us accountable in another way, completely unbiased. And out of 70 other bettors, we place not only in the top 25, but come in at number 4, almost very narrowly missing number 3. We were at 93.29 units. Number 3 was at 93.64.
Yeah.
Very narrowly missing number 3 spot.
And we were number 2 for a while. We're number 2 for a while. So shout out to the 2 that did hop over. So that means that they're doing fantastic as well. So do check out everybody over there. But I mean, I just think we're one of the most slept on groups like out there. And a lot of these
100%.
are just a single guy. And it's like, okay, you're a single dude, which is great. And you know football, which is great. All right. Your information is valuable to me 4 months of the year. We
Right.
have guys in every single sport, including overseas soccer, including me and Bobby here that do MMA every single week. That is 54 weeks. Isn't that how it's 54 or 56 weeks in a year? Fuck it. I don't know. That's not what I know. I know betting.
Right.
So
Exactly.
every week you guys get stuff from us. And I'm not talking baseball. Why? I don't know anything about baseball. I don't like baseball. I don't watch baseball. So I'm not going to tell you how to bet baseball. I'm going to send your the information out to the web that Noel posts, and Noel's going to get you paid. Bobby's going to make MMA content because Bobby has been watching MMA for years, for decades. He's going to send it out. He's going to win your money. I'm going to help you with the NFL stuff. Me and Bobby help you with the fantasy stuff. Ethan and Wyatt right now are just absolutely killing it in college football. They also do college basketball. They're doing NBA. They're doing hockey. I'll be joining hockey here shortly once the NFL season's over. It's just so much, and I'm really happy with our team right now and how we're able to give year-long content that is just quality. Because right now times are tough. Like no cutting around it. It's hard for me, so I know it's hard for everybody else out there. Like groceries are more expensive than ever. Everything's been going up except for your paycheck. So we
Right.
have to band together right now to beat Vegas. Vegas has millions, millions, billions of dollars. They don't need it. They don't need gold-plated toilets. We're helping you take their money.
Yep. And that's the whole go right there. You said it perfectly, man. Whole goal is just to tap out Vegas, just to submit Vegas, just to stomp out Vegas, just to score a tutty on Vegas, however you want to put it, however you want to say it. Just take Vegas to the cleaners, man. Everybody bit by bit, just making that extra little bit of fun money. You know what I'm saying?
All of us against them, man. It's so many
Yep.
people want to go against other bettors and like other pick people like, oh no, these guys are terrible, these guys are frauds, which there are those guys out there. But like, check out guys that like Bobby was saying at the American Betting League. Like those guys are held accountable by a third party, just like he said. So you know that they're being tracked correctly. I trust those guys. Those
Right.
guys
Exactly.
are being monitored elsewhere by somebody else. They're not just posting their own stuff. Also, we post stuff where we look bad. We do. We've posted where we have one winning bet of our 9 picks of the week. We post it. We get clowned on social media, and that's all part of it. That's all part of it. You got to take the good with the bad,
Right.
but the value we want to bring people is it's just it's different than you're going to find elsewhere.
Yeah, and the people that do clown on us in the comments and whatnot get real quiet when we have weeks like we've been having.
That's true. We only had, I believe, one comment, I think 2 weeks ago, and then no comments. Did you see there were no comments this week?
Yeah, not a peep.
Not
Real
a
quiet.
single sound. We covered 7 fights. We covered more fights. There's more stuff to get on us about.
I didn't expect anything different.
You don't when you're winning.
Yeah.
You don't when you're winning, man. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the live. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please, like we always say, oh, I clicked the wrong one. There we go. 869 subs right now. It keeps climbing up a little bit. God, Bobby, we were stuck at like 762 for so long. I was getting so discouraged. I had a nice little bump here recently. So if you guys haven't yet, please consider subscribing. It does encourage us to keep going, keep giving you guys this good content. And just keep pushing through, man. Pushing through the negativity so we can keep winning you guys some money. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys on Friday. Friday with Tapping Vegas. Peace, guys.
Peace.